Hello everyone, whoever is watching, welcome back. This is part 2 of my last stream that I did. Still trying to get my internet going a little bit. Well, what I wanted to do today is I wanted to show you what I did to fix the head turning. Are we live anymore? Okay, yeah, we're live. Sorry, I'm still in the process of doing my internet. Alrighty, so yeah, that's mainly what I wanted to do today. Is I wanted to show you all what I did to fix my head turning. So this is what it looks like now. So it's definitely a lot better than what I had last time. And yeah, don't do what I did last time. If I have some viewers going into animation or viewers that are interested in animation, if you have lines drawn like this, you need to have lines drawn like this or something to keep it just like that. And you need to follow them because it's very important. This is what it looks like now. And the reason I have a keyframe in between these two keyframes is so I can start with a slow. I can kind of start off slow and smooth. I would also like to end smooth. Have you ever heard of easy ease? Easy ease in and out. Those features can be found on, I think it's Adobe After Effects. I think that's Adobe After Effects again. But Blender also has something kind of like that. If I were to interpolate this sequence right here, which is basically, let me unlock that. If I were to interpolate this sequence right here, which is basically putting a whole bunch of keyframes that the computer generates in between some keyframes, some highlighted keyframes in there. If I were to interpolate that and right click, actually not right click, go to key and easing mode. I just found this the other day. Blender has some easing modes, automatic, ease in and ease out, or both. And you can find this menu by Control E if you're on a Windows PC like me. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool because I had learned how to use the easing modes in college, and I've always wondered if Blender had that, and it looks like they do. And like I said, where I would interpolate that, this is where you would find that. And you can control this by T, and then it will give you this menu right here. And yeah, usually I do linear. That handles everything pretty good, especially with this type of animation. Now, if I have frames, say, if I have frames that are drawn differently like this, like if I drew every single frame, interpolation will not work. I have to copy and paste it in there in order for it to work. So if I had the ears right here, for instance, and if I copied that and let's move this, if I pasted it over here as a new keyframe and then I moved it to the right a little bit, then I can highlight this keyframe and, well, the set of keyframes and that set of keyframes. And I can go to key interpolation mode, or I can go to grease pencil and interpolate sequence. But if I do this, then it will just do whatever it wants. So I want to set it to a specific interpolation. Now we also have this menu and this menu, but I usually do the linear interpolation. And let's see. Oh, I forgot to highlight the ears because that is what I want animated. Okay, so I'm going to highlight these keyframes and the ears, the strokes that I want to animate, and then I want to go under key and interpolation mode, linear. Dang, don't want to work. Okay, we'll just go up here then. Interpolate sequence, and as you can see, now we have this. I don't know why it did that, but that's what linear interpolation does. It makes these keyframes in the middle. It generates keyframes, and the computer kind of guesses the animation. And it did a good job at guessing that, so that's just something that I found neat that I wanted to show you all. So let's put everything back to the way it was. And let's deal with keyframes on 55. Okay, now this was 0.04 last time. Okay. I'm going to lock the red lines again because we don't want to accidentally animate those. So let's find keyframes after. Oh, that's why I didn't make a keyframe here. It's like, why is there black in there? All right. So I want to find the middle of these 2 points right there. And I want to do this number. If you can hear that, that's my dog. My dog is in the live stream now. He is a German Shepherd, and I actually made an animation on him. And that's probably, I think that's the first video. If you go to my channel and if you look at the videos, that should be the first thing that comes up. And yeah, that dog is my dog. His name is Rover. But that animation was actually my college final, believe it or not. It was very fun to do. It was very hard, but it was very fun to do, and I'm glad that it turned out the way that it turned out. No joke, I was sitting at the computer for like 14 hours straight. Don't do that, but that's what happened. And it turned out exactly the way I wanted it. But, you know, most of the time that doesn't happen. If you're going into animation, you don't need to be a perfectionist like me, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. You don't need to be a perfectionist like me. Sometimes you're not going to get your hopes and dreams done on time. I was in another class in college that had to do with like digital stuff or media stuff or whatever. And I got my final done for that class. It was on time, but I only submitted half of it. And it was also an animation type thing, but really it was a lyric video type thing. An animation for a lyric video is what it was. And you know what? If you don't get things submitted on time, it's fine. Just get it submitted, especially in college. Like, get it submitted, get it done. That's something that I've learned in college. This is the wrong size. But yeah, advice for anybody who wants to go in animation, there's that. Okay. And when I not really connect the dots, but when I do the in-betweens like that, it turns out like that. And now let me do the eyes. Or should I even I don't know if I should do that yet because I didn't go in and do the eye color or the expression that she's making right now. See, if I turn everything off for just a second, you can see the expression that she's making. In this scene, she's kind of lost, she's about ready to give up. And that's what we have right there. I'm not sure how much I can give away, really, but she is about ready to give up in this scene. And here she starts to walk away. So I need the same expression on every other frame. Now, one cool thing about the frog here, let me show you guys this. So I'm going to draw the eyes again. Okay. Even though it doesn't look like she has eyebrows, she definitely has eyebrows. And I will show you all, like, how. It's actually, the explanation is actually, it actually makes sense. And it took me forever to come up with, you know, how in the world is she going to make expressions with no eyebrows? Like, that's just crazy. But I finally figured out how to do it. And it took me 5 months to come up with this character and her design. But eventually I got it. And now we have this frog character. Okay, this is not going to be great, but I'm just showing it this is just for reference, so don't be a perfectionist like me. Okay. And I'm going to duplicate that and rotate it. Alright. Alright, so this is how I animate her eyes. And yes, she has eyebrows. Now I probably shouldn't have drawn this. Okay. Let me go back to draw mode and draw this again. Okay, now this dot right here is what I use for her eyebrow rigging. Yeah. So this, if it's like if it's kind of in the middle like that, this dot, that means she's content with life. And if I move it over here, then that means she's angry. And if I move it over on this side, that means she is worried or sad. See, it kind of looks like it, does it? So that's how that's done. And that took me forever to figure out. But yeah, content with life, really mad, really worried, or sad, or whatever. And you can see that right here, yeah, I did put that dot over to the little bit. And she is looking up at something right now. So I need to animate that as well. We've also got her body to animate, which isn't bad, honestly. Her head is the hardest thing in a turnaround animation to animate, like seriously. Okay, so I'm in the wrong mode. Alright. So with that being said, I'm going to follow these dots right here, this old drawing, and I am going to move this dot to the right, and that dot can just stay like that. And then I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to redraw that. And now she is sad. Alright. Oh, that's where those went. And see, she was looking up last time, and we still kind of want her to look up like that. So probably think I'm overthinking this, but probably right there would be a good spot. Okay. Up. And then this is just stupid, but it makes it look better than just doing a plain circle like that. This makes it look better and more like because I did draw it, but it makes me look like it makes it look original is what I'm trying to say. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I will do that once I do this frame, once we get this eye out there a little bit more. Look at that. That's not even the same size. Wow. Alright. It's fine. And as she's turning her head, she's going to start looking down as well, so. Okay. See. Wow, that's not even. Is that even natural? This pupil was like all the way. That's funny. All right. But yeah, she's gonna start looking down here. Yeah. Yeah, probably about right there. And of course, I have to redo this. Actually, let me delete that, and I will follow the original a little bit. Again, to move around the space here, all I'm doing is holding down shift and clicking middle mouse, because if you try to go over here, it's just going to move the strokes around, and that's annoying. Okay, so yeah, kind of like that. And see how that is compared to the other eye? Content with life and sad. So there you have it on that. And it looks like she's confused here now. I'm very tempted to play some music, but I don't know. I'm afraid I'm going to get copyrighted. I don't know what would happen really if I did that. Okay, that's good. Honestly, I'm probably going to copy and paste the rest of what I do here. Because it gets annoying to do this over and over again when really you can copy and paste it and be done with it like that. I don't know what that is. And if you want to see, there's no eyes right here. So if I wanted to see in onion scanning the eyes right here, then I can come to the object data properties and move the keyframes before to 2, and it will show me the eyes on this keyframe right here. So yeah, the eyes are definitely big enough. It looks like that's mainly what I was checking, because I thought that they were too small. But yeah, that's actually good. I've also got to animate the mouth like going this way. I probably will reuse the red lines right here and just move them down like that. So I'm wondering if I should do the eyes on this before I fix the eyes on here. Maybe not. Maybe it would be better to go ahead and do this. Okay, while I do this, I'm going to go ahead and mute the microphone so y'all don't have to hear like the keyboard and mouse and all that. And yeah, I will be muting the microphone for just a little bit until I'm done. Okay, so now I'm going to do the eyes for this set of keyframes. In the wrong mode. So something like that. And even still, the lines indicate that this dot will be moved over to the left a little bit. And see how there's kind of a crisscross right here? I like to go right in the middle of that. Okay, I will be muting the microphone once again. Okay, so I know that maybe with the onion skins, this may look confusing. But if I turn them off, you can see how everything is laid out now. Okay, yeah. Yep, that's what I want right there. Still trying to figure out how to do the nose. It's kind of weird. Yeah, this is wrong. It actually needs to be pointed down a little bit instead of up. It was pointed up more than the last frame. It's like, wait a minute. So maybe that will fix it. Yeah, I think it did. Alright. So I'm actually going to keep that on. Okay. And while I do all this, I have the microphone muted again. Okay, and that is now done. So, let's see, we've had 48 minutes on the stream. Okay, so I might be able to do the rest of it in an hour's time. First thing I want to show you is how the body is animated. Okay, so we first have this frame, and let me bump both of those up a little bit. Okay. I might be wrong, but I think that stays the same the whole time as she is spinning around. So I'm just going to start on this frame right here. And I'm going to make that the same. Now, this is going to be animated a little bit as she is spinning around. And honestly, it might actually stay. Let me figure something out real quick. Thinking it's going to be animated just a tiny bit, like that. And then I can do some in-betweens. So it just looks like she's spinning around. So yeah, that makes it look like she's spinning around. I think maybe instead of going forward with that point like that, I might want to go backward. Let me copy and paste that. Wow. I might actually have to redo that. Hang on. I'm going to duplicate that. Oops. And put it on the other side. Move it around a little bit. Now, one thing that is not going to be the same, really. 1 second. One thing that's not going to be the same is her turtleneck right here. Really, to animate that, I just animate these little lines right here, so it looks like she's turning around. And I will demonstrate that here in just a second. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. Okay, and then I'm going to do some in-betweens like that. Actually, let me turn that off. Looks like that's going to stay about the same. Or did I even animate that? Yeah, I did. This one is going to be as close to the green as possible because we still have another set of keyframes after that. So this one is going to be really close to the green. This is going to stay about the same, except it's also going to be really close to the green. And now we can do an in-between right here. And this one is just basically whatever. And there's that. Now let me show you something else really cool about Blender. You can mess with the points on the lines just like this. I can go under edit mode like this, and usually I would be on stroke mode like that. You can see this little menu up here to change the different modes. I usually never use the segment mode. That stands for both line and dots, or dots, points. But see, I can literally go in right here, and to get to that, I can also press 2 for the stroke mode and 1 for the points. I usually just do the numbers because it's a lot easier. And I can, here, let me show you. Okay. Now I just made another point right there. Now how did I do that? So I'm going to select this point, this new point I just made, and I can select G to move it. And there's something on here called extrude. I just need to press E, and it can literally make another point right there. It extrudes it from the original point. So I just think that's really cool. That's just something that you can do in Blender that I think is really cool. But yeah, you can see the individual dots that make up the stroke. Or the points, not dots. They're called points. Yeah. Alright, so there is that. Now, I'm probably going to do the middle frame right here. See how many are there? There is 3. So I'm going to bump both of these up to 3. And I think the darkest one is what I'm going to be looking at. So it looks like, see, we're going, or no, not the darkest one. The lightest one is the one that we're going to be looking at. But I need to create something here first. So I'm pretty sure that that's a different. Uh-oh. Alright, there we go. Am I still live? I think OBS connected for a little while. I think we're still live, and we are about an hour into this live. I will say I'm gonna have to get off of here in probably a few minutes because I gotta go do something. But I am going to show you real quick how I animate the turtleneck right here. Ooh, I'm gonna do an in-between. So I need to set that on, actually that's what I was doing. I need to set that at the right size and then go in here and put those where I would normally put them because now she is in her normal position. She's facing towards the audience. And I want to go to this middle frame right here. See, now that we have both of the onion skins for the first and last frame in the sequence visible, I can go in here and change the stroke radius to what it was on before and go in and make an in-between. Which would be probably right there. And now I'm going to move that to 2. I'm going to start with that. See, this is the first frame, and I still have a keyframe after that, so I need to be closest to the green one as I can get. And then after this, I will make a transition. So that's good. Before I do that, let me go in here and do this one so I can get the keyframes before and after off of 2. That kind of gets annoying after a while. What do I think I did something incorrect? We'll find out in a minute. Alright. I'm going to move that to 1, and now I can do the in-between for this. Which is like that. Okay. And this one. No, I did it right. Okay. So this is what I wanted to show you all. Let me bump this up a little bit. Now, this is what gives it the illusion that she's turning around. So let me put this on the size that we figured out. And I'm going to go in here and just start. See, how do I want to do this? See, she is going this way. She is turning to her right or the left. Okay, I'm going to say her right. She's turning to her right. So the lines are going to be animated to the left. So I'm just going to go ahead and start that. Okay, and I'm going to keep going about the same distance that I did last time. I'm going to move that to 1. So right in the middle. You can already kind of see the animation there. Probably just that over and over again, honestly. Okay, I think it's about time for me to sign off. So let me just do this. Okay, and then she is coming to a stop right here. Or, well, not really. But see, this is the before keyframe and this is the after. So I need to put one of those in between like that. No, I'm sorry. Let me do... See, there was something here last time, and it went this way. And there was something here, see. This is going to get bigger and come this way. And then we're going to have this. I'm going to redo that. Yep. Alright, so that's kind of right. I want to explain that a little bit more maybe in the next live stream, but I gotta sign off. So whoever was watching, thank you so much, and I will be back on the next stream.